Hello everybody, welcome back to Green Cup Review Station. This is Green Cup speaking. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'm here reviewing something that I received as a gift for Christmas, and it's actually very, very cool. It's called Unsolved case files. Now, if you like puzzles, if you like detective dramas or police dramas or CSI or any of that type of show or thing where you take some deductive reasoning, or where you get to pour over all the evidence and then try and figure out who the criminal was, then I think you're going to like this. The point of this review is just to show kind of the quality of the materials and the craftsmanship that went into making this packet. I'm not going to be giving away the plot or spoiling it in any way. So just keep that in mind. Feel free, if you're thinking about buying one of these packs, I do highly recommend it. I personally love puzzles. I like figuring things out and poring over the evidence and solving and cracking the cold case. And that's what this is. And they do it in a really clever way. But it's also very interesting. It'll keep you engaged and active for hours at a time. So I highly recommend it. I would rate it 5 out of 5 stars. And there's a few reasons why. One is just the quality of the story that goes into it. So in this particular one, I had Max Cahill. And again, I'm not giving anything away. This is just kind of the story. The story is that Max Cahill is a 29-year-old dean of the history department at Tubman University in Georgia, and he's brutally murdered. And they had some suspects, but the police weren't able to track down and figure out who the killer was, and eventually became a cold case status. And you come in and you're gonna open this back up and crack this cold case, and so it's a lot of fun. That's kind of an overview of the plot here. And one of the things that I really liked about this is, just look at like the quality of the materials that go into it. It comes in like this nice manila envelope. It was sealed in a plastic bag that you have to open. And the marketing on the outside of the plastic bag is really nice. And then getting into what you get in your little file here, you get various kinds of evidence. In this case, you get a folder here with a number of pictures that you use, right? And these are all, pretty high quality pictures. I don't want to show you too much, but it's fairly well, fairly nicely done. So you get some pictures here. It comes with things like newspaper articles, which, if you look at it, looks like an actual newspaper, which I thought was kind of cool. And then various forms of other evidence, a case file inventory list, a video surveillance log. These are all kind of things that you would expect to see as a part of the evidence of, a cold case murder, right? In this case, there's a Northrop Police Department memorandum. Here's a little handwritten sketch of that one's upside down. Handwritten sketch of the campus. So there's a lot that goes into making these things, and that's why I say I was fairly impressed with the quality of the materials. Here's a building blueprint that you use, to look at, an autopsy report. This is a report on the victim's possessions that he had on him at the time he was murdered. And then the last thing I kind of wanted to point out here is, when I talk about the quality of materials, is look at, this is one packet for suspects. You have, a nice glossy picture. You have a person of interest report, which gives you a lot of data on that suspect. And then you have witness statements, so both from the witness, and then if the witness has an alibi, the statements from the alibi will be included here as well. So it's all really nicely done and interesting. And you'll have, one of these little packets for each one of the suspects that's identified. So you go through all the evidence and determine who you think that in this case, the killer is. And then when you're fairly certain, you go to the webpage. So, objective number one, find out how the killer got to Max, right? It's one of the first of three objectives. And when you think you have it, you go to the website, it asks you some questions, you plug in some data, and then it tells you if you're right. And if you were right, then they have these little bonus envelopes that came in here as well. And so when you solve the first objective, then you open bonus envelope A, and there's more evidence. I won't disclose exactly what's in there, but there's more evidence for you to pour through. And then, there's another objective, right, that's in there. When you find out that objective, the same thing, it prompts you to go to a website, you answer questions. If you get it correct, then, you open bonus envelope B, and then eventually bonus envelope C. And then, obviously in those envelopes are more evidence and more information to help you crack the cold case. And that's what you use to track it down. In this case, track down who murdered this young man, Mr. Max Cahill. And like I said, overall, really high quality materials. I mean, I could nitpick and point out a few things I thought were, a little cheesy, but overall I found the quality to be excellent. And I really enjoyed the variety of material that went into making this case, and in the craftsmanship that went in as well, whether it's the pictures or the person of interest reports with all the data and